Thursday morning, so let's start with some gentle circles. Right ear to right shoulder, chin to chest, left ear to left shoulder, and then up and over. And then coming the other way. And coming back to center and letting the shoulders slowly start to circle. Noticing how the body feels. So we're doing the month of December, the theme is rest, and this week in particular the theme is the heart. So do some arm circles, but let them come from your heart space as we expand out from the very center of the heart in all directions. And then bringing your hands to your knees and circling your heart. I mean, if you want a heart-centered practice, just look at puppy eyes. And you've got it right there. And then keeping your hands on your knees, just rocking forwards and back. And then reaching your arms up, interlinking fingers, pressing the palms up high, taking a couple of breaths right down into the deepest part of the navel if you can. And a slight leaning over to one side. And coming back up to center. And then leaning over to the other side. And taking your arms forwards, you're going to bring your hands into an S shape and pull the fingers apart so the elbows are pulling out to the sides. And then drop your chin towards your chest as you lean your heart back. But keep the hands drawing apart so there's a tension there in the hands. And slowly start to wriggle from side to side as you feel into the back of your heart. And then you might start to lean in one direction. Still the hands are keeping this strong hold. As you breathe into the space between the ribs, into the shoulder blades. And then release and take your hands around behind your back, interlink your fingers and press the palms away. Inhale as you look up. And then release, bringing your hands down to your side. And we'll do a side stretch. So walk the right hand away, reach the left hand up, press down through that bottom hand to get height through the top hand. And then drape that top arm over your head, so the elbow lifts. And we can start to exhale and look down towards the ground. Inhale, look up towards the sky. Noticing the feeling through the side body. So I feel like it's when you see like footage of flowers on high speed replays and you see how they move to the sun and then kind of close down for nightfall. It's a bit like we're moving that way. Okay, bringing both hands down to the floor, finding center. Left hand walks away, right hand rises. And as you press down through the left hand, get some extra height through the right hand. And then slowly leaning over to the left, drape that top arm so it feels easy and good. And turn your gaze down to the floor and then up to the sky with your breath. And then come back to center. And we'll walk our hands forwards. Bring our chin towards the chest and fold. I'm just going to, the notifications come up on my screen, so I can't see you guys. I'm just going to take that away. Oh, sorry, Bramble. That's better now, I can see you. Inhale as you come back up. Okay, and we're going to come onto all fours. Hands beneath shoulders, knees beneath hips. A bit like you, isn't it? And as you inhale, lift your gaze, dip the spine, turn the tailbone to point up. And as you exhale, tuck the tailbone down, bring the chin towards your chest, push through the hands and let the heart rise. And then walking your hands forwards. If your knees feel comfortable with it, take some slow circles with your hips. And then switching directions. And the Ujjayi breath. Amazing to watch Bramble relax because of my Ujjayi breath. This co-regulation that happens with our breathing. So wonderful to see it. Okay, and then keeping the bottom high, let the heart melt down towards the floor, either resting the chin or resting the forehead on the floor. And as you press down through the palms, draw your shoulder blades down your back. And then inhale as you come all the way forwards, and we'll let the hips come down to the floor. And heart comes to the floor. Reach your arms back behind you. Pressing the hips down into the ground. Inhale as you lift your heart. And exhale as you come down. Inhale as you come up. Exhale as you come down. And inhale as you come up. And stay up, and maybe bring the feet up. Well, they can stay down, depends how your lower back is feeling. Exhaling towards the floor. Let's take hands either side of your hips, of your chest as you sit back on your heels and stretch arms out in front. And then walk the hands to the right. Press the left sitting bone away. And then walking hands back to center. And over to the left, pushing the right hip away. And then back to center. Let's come back onto all fours. We'll tuck toes under and take a little down dog. So we get to stretch the hamstrings and have a wriggle here. See if you can get the height through the tailbone and drop the heels low to the floor. And then slowly take the knees down, keep the toes tucked under, sit back on the heels, and we'll just take a little bit of fire toes. And then bring your hands back. Gently tap the tops of the feet so there's no stress there. And we'll inhale, bring the right leg out behind you. And as you exhale, draw that knee in and we'll come into pigeon. So knee comes between hands, foot moves sideways across beneath you. As you walk your back foot further away and allow your hips to come to the floor. So if you're using cushions or anything, then a cushion underneath the right hip is really, really lovely. I often do that. I just think today the puppy will eat the cushion and it won't be helpful. So coming up onto your fingertips, roll the shoulders away from the ears, sit up nice and tall and breathe. Drop the eyelids so that you can actually sense what's happening inside the body. And is there something you can do to make this feel more nourishing or more spacious for yourself? Then gently walking your hands forwards, folding, and bringing forehead down to the floor. And then as you're ready, inhale and come back up, walk your hands up. Now we can add a bit more play here. You can stay as you are. That, for many of us, that just feels great, and stay here as long as you like. Or if you want to turn the volume up a little bit, you can bend the back leg. For me, that means my hips instantly come up off the floor. So I'm taking my weight in my hands, but my knees don't hurt, nothing's hurting. So I feel confident to take my left arm forwards and up and take a big circle to catch hold of that foot. So now I've got a little bit of rotation happening in the torso. And the foot can kick back into the hand and the hand can draw in. So this is very much a 6:30 in the morning version of mermaid pose. Your breath will tell you if you're in the right place. If you're finding you're holding your breath or anything's pinching, then you can just come out. It should feel like you're you're giving yourself a bit of a gift of a stretch. You should feel some sort of pleasure from the stretch that you're giving yourself. It's not a torture pose. Okay, and release and bring that arm back. Press into your hands and come into a high plank. And then lift the tailbone and come into a down dog. And then lower your knees. So you come back onto all fours. Settle yourself. Inhale as the left leg goes back. And exhale as the left knee comes forward, and we take pigeon on the other side. And coming up to fingertips, rolling the shoulders away from the ears. And breathing. And again, a cushion under that left hip is a really glorious thing. Take a nice inhale, and as you exhale, walk your hands forwards and lower your forehead to the floor as you take a nice fold. And then inhale as you come back up onto your hands. Bend that back knee if you wish. And for me, it's really different one side to the other. Be sure this knee is protected. There's nothing pinching, there's no pain anywhere. And if you feel comfortable, reach the right arm all the way up and back, catching hold of the foot. And then I can kind of, once I've caught hold of the foot, then I can sink into the pose a little bit more. And the foot is pushing back and the hand is pulling in. So eventually the foot comes to the crook of the bent elbow. And then this left hand can come up and back and supposedly catch hold of hands, which at some point in my 20s, I think I could do. But I left it there. Haven't done that for a while. Okay, and then releasing. Coming back down. Press through. The hands will come to a high plank. Soften the knees, lower ourselves to the floor. Laying your forehead down. And let's bend our knees. Catch hold of the feet and lay forehead to the ground. And then keeping the thighs on the floor and the heart on the floor and the forehead on the floor, bend your elbows up towards the ceiling and pull your toes up towards your shoulder blades. And then really press the hips down into the mat. And then release. Keep hold of the feet to take the pressure off. And then pressing the pubic bone down into the floor, push the feet into the hands, lift the heart, and come up into rocking horse. So the more the feet kick into the hands, the more lift you get through the heart. And you will rock if you're taking a deep diaphragmatic breath. And exhale as you lower yourself down to the floor. Hands come either side of your chest. As you push through your hands, sit back on your heels. Stretch your arms out in front of you. And then lay your arms at your side so you're in a lovely child's pose. And breathe into the back of your heart. And then inhale as you come up to sitting, back on your heels. And we're going to take eagle arms, so bring right elbow out in front of you. And then take the left elbow over the top, bring the palms together and turn your thumbs towards your face. And then press the elbows forwards and drop the heart back as the chin comes down towards the chest. You might have a little wriggle here as well. Gives you a really nice opportunity to get into the intercostal space between the ribs at the back of the heart. And then release. And let the arms come down to your side. And then take the left elbow forwards. The right comes over the top. The palms face one another, and there's masses of scope for variables on movement here. Not everyone can get their palms together, but just work towards that and imagine you're trying to turn your thumbs towards your face if you can, and then elbows push forward, heart, chin drops to chest, and breathe into the back of the heart. A little wriggle from side to side might feel helpful. And then release. I have to say this is going a lot better than I imagined it was going to go with this little puppy here. Okay, so let's come up onto our knees and step the right foot forward and then walk the right foot across. And then move it back so the knees stack on top of one another, and then behind you the heels will separate apart from one another, and you're going to sit down between your heels. And you can bring cushions to support yourself. Lifting the hips up here, I would usually do that, like I say, I'm just not because of Bramble today. Holding onto your toes, sit up nice and tall. So the knees are stacked, but if this is causing any pain, then come straight out of it. You can always just sit back on your heels in a hero pose. But if you're still good to go, then inhale, reach the left arm up, bend the elbow, take the hand between the shoulder blades, and then sweep the right hand behind, drawing the fingertips towards one another. And I always notice I have a tendency to drop my head here, but it feels way better if I sit up and I let my neck be a continuation of the line of my spine. And then release. Uncross the legs as you come forwards. And we'll come back up to sitting on our knees. And this time the left leg comes forward, walks across. Heels separate from one another as you come and sit down between. Holding onto your big toes, sit up nice and tall. And then inhale, reach the right arm up. Bend the elbow and sweep the left arm behind. And again, just be sure the neck is really relaxed and happy. And let your breath tell you if this is serving you this morning. Make whatever adjustments are needed if it's not serving you. And then releasing arms down to the floor. And coming forwards to uncross your legs. I think we say a little prayer of thanks for Bramble Snooze. Take your hands to your heart center. May the fruit of our practice be collective to all sentient beings, so that we can all remember how it feels to open our hearts physically and emotionally more often. Namaste.